Good evening, dear friends. As we celebrate today as a World Investor Week in 2023, today we have brought you ANMI Western Region's Knowledge Series. It is said that well-informed investors are well-protected investors. World Investor Week is an important occasion for us to reaffirm the old dedication to the investor protection and education. So today's webinar is on currency derivatives and opportunity, how it helps in investing in association with DHAN. The currency derivatives market is slow and steady, but definitely steadily picking up. In last couple of years, the volatility has increased quite high. We can see the retail participation taking and reaching new highs. Today's opportunity in the Indian currency market investors has grown dramatically. So our speaker today will elaborate the opportunity that exists in the currency derivatives market and the benefits of it. I today welcome Mr.Jay Prakash Gupta, founder of DHAN, a technological platform for super traders. He is an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. His career has a rich and vast experience of 18 years in financial sectors. He is conferred as the best analyst by none other than Sri Narendra Modi ji in 2014 and Mr. Piyush Goyal as a Z Market Analyst Award in 2016. So I request our speaker Jai ji to take on the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, for the warm welcome. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar on currency derivatives. Before I start, I would like to express my gratitude to ANMI SEBI for this wonderful initiative under the World Investor Week. See, well, we all know that currency of any economy is a barometer of its economic standing and strength. A weaker currency reflects the state of affairs in the economy. The robustness of any currency OTC market and derivatives market is also a parameter to assess the strength of a country's banking market infrastructure and also the maturity of the market. Now, coming to currency as such, we all are aware that a currency or a forex is a transactional value of your your currency. When I say that, so you mean that when you are trading in rupee dollar and say USD INR is quoting say 81, so it reflects that today's value for rupee against dollar is 81 rupees, right? So this is the basic understanding which we all have. Now moving on, what currency derivatives, how did it all start, and also I just like to throw some light there. See, currency derivatives trading on currency derivatives trading on exchanges was permitted in India in 2008. Initially, it started with USD INR futures, and gradually other future pairs like Euro INR, GBP INR, and Japanese Yen INR futures were allowed. And later options were introduced, NRIs were allowed to participate. So all in all, the market has grown in terms of volume since 2008, and there has also been a growth in the participation from investors and institutions alike. Currently, Indian currency market is 18th largest market in the world in terms of daily turnover, and our volumes account for 0.8% of the global forex market. Now, we all need to understand that understanding currency market is very essential if we want to understand financial markets well. So when I say that, we also need to understand how understanding currency markets helps you in becoming a better investor, better trader, and also a better businessman. So we'll touch upon these aspects one by one. Now let's try to understand, if you want to become a better investor and you want to get into financial markets, how understanding currency or understanding forex market is going to help you. See, as I said earlier, a currency is a barometer of your nation's strength. So we have seen in the past, when our forex reserves depleted in the 1990s, we had hardly any reserves left. our currency, our economy was on the brink of collapse. And still today, we see it with a lot of countries. Say our neighboring countries, Pakistan is, suffering because they don't have adequate forex reserves. So a weaker, forex reserve signifies कि आपकी इकोनॉमी में ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं एक्टिविटी करने को, and that has a positive correlation with stock markets. Your stock markets will not perform, it will start crashing. Only when there is an initiative being taken कि आपका forex reserves healthy होता है, that gives lot of comfort to foreign institutional investors and foreign participants, so that they come and take or invest in an economy. हमारा आज का forex reserves around 600 billion के आसपास है, which is a healthy number. And few months back when the reserves were dwindling और नीचे आ गया था, we had seen that our stock markets were correcting. So first is, if you keep a watch on हमारा India का forex reserves क्या है, that gives you an idea how the economy is faring. Second is how currency market helps. Suppose if you want to promote exports, right? So we all know that when you promote exports, you cannot, allow your exporters, or there is less incentive for exporters when the rupee or the currency of an economy is very strong. क्योंकि वो कुछ अगर अपना exports करता है, उसके बाद जो पैसे आते हैं वो कम receive होते हैं. So a weaker currency gives an opportunity for export boost. So that's why we have seen that, at the current time when we are an economy where we want to develop our trade relations with other countries, there has to be more exports. Our currency is trading somewhere around 80 to 83 rupees, and where you don't find much of the RBI and government intervention to strengthen the currency. Third important factor when you are an investor, आपको ये ध्यान रखना है currency market के लिए, वो ये है कि there are, you have to correlate it with a stronger currency. Say for example dollar. तो हम लोग अगर डॉलर रुपी का ट्रैक रखते हैं तो हमें पता चलता है कि हमारा करेंसी डॉलर के अगेंस्ट में वीक है या स्ट्रांग है, and that defines how our FII flows also happen. So if you want to track that, if the stock market is falling, you find that a lot of FII outflows are happening, and that weakens the currency, which is again a signal that whether our stock market is likely to do well or not. Another area which you need to focus is the inflation. Whenever you see that the inflation is moving high, there is intervention coming from central bank, and the intervention usually happens by taking currency into account. So in short, when you are an investor, आपको fundamentals watch करने के लिए currency movement चाहिए, forex reserve को track करना है. If you want to understand the FII outflows and its impact, the currency movements give you a fair idea. If you want to have a healthy exporting industry, then also a currency in certain band helps you in becoming a better exporting country. Now, when we come to new age users, the users जो stock market में पहली बार आ रहे हैं, उनके लिए और वो trading करना चाहते हैं, for them, the currency is the best instrument to start their trading journey. Why I am saying so is, first, currency market में liquidity बहुत ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि अगर आप globally देखें तो it's the most traded market in the world. So the most liquid market is currency market, then it comes to commodities, and then the third is equities and other asset classes. So when you have a very high liquidity in any instrument, जो हम इंडिया में देखते हैं कि USD INR में बहुत ज़्यादा liquidity है, so there the technicals work really well. So whatever technical analysis tools you want to use as a new user, you can use it on a currency contracts. That's one. So it gives you a lot of opportunity, क्योंकि liquidity ज़्यादा है. आपके जो tools आप create करना चाहते हो, MACD हो, RSI हो, या whatever advanced tools you want to use, you will find a better chart formation happening, and as a learner of market, that gives you a lot of insight. Second important thing is जब आप start करते हैं, you always want to start small, right? So for you taking large position in large contracts where you have few lakhs of margin required, that acts as a dampener, क्योंकि when the market doesn't go in your favor, that disincentivizes you, or you are discouraged to take a further trade. The currency market takes care of that. The contract size is varies from say 80,000 to 85,000. The contract size I am saying, क्योंकि अगर 1,000 का lot है USD INR का and 81 rupees is the price, the entire lot size, the contract value is of 81,000 rupees. And again, if you trade in futures, the margin requirement varies from 3 to 4%, unlike other equity derivatives contract where margin varies from 12 to 20%. So 82,000 का अगर आप 3% भी लेते हैं, तो it comes to around 2,400, 2,500 rupees. So by just paying a nominal margin amount, you get a beautiful depth and liquidity where you can use your technical skills. I mean technical analysis skills. Second is the price movement is predictable, because you will never see a currency in a single day moving from 81 to 83, because the market is so huge, and the impact it has on the overall money flow and the economy. That's how, you know, the currency market is has got a very tighter range. So you trade in few paces. So, you know, as a new trader, for you, the probability of losing your capital in one trade is very, very low. That also gives you that confidence कि आप जो tools लगा के सीखना चाहते हैं, वो आपको help करता है, क्योंकि छोटा margin requirement है. आप छोटे margin में आप experiment कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपका जो हार जीत है वो भी limited है. Third important fact is, even if you want to apply option trading here, you want to learn certain spread orders, you want to use certain strategies, you can use a combination of futures and options, and that you can do in few thousand rupees. So why I am putting a lot of thrust here is that for any new user, it's very important that they learn the market well, and then they go and take a bigger exposure. So for a learner, this is a great platform. Third important, or rather fourth important factor for currency market is, if you start understanding currency markets, you also start understanding the opposite pair or the opposite currency. So say for example, you are trading in USD INR, आप ये भी ध्यान रखोगे कि डॉलर में क्या हो रहा है. And if you want to track dollar, you will also start tracking what is happening in international markets. So इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में जो मूवमेंट है वो भी आपको पता चलता है. डॉलर रिजर्व्स यूएस में कैसा है, वहां पे डॉलर वीक है या स्ट्रांग है, डॉलर और यूरो का रिलेशन क्या है, एंड दैट अल्टीमेटली गिव्स यू इनसाइट कि आपके कमोडिटी प्राइसेस कैसे मूव होंगे. से अगर डॉलर स्ट्रांग है तो गोल्ड विल बी वीक. Okay, if dollar is strong, you will see movement in crude oil prices, and crude oil prices and gold prices ultimately impact your prices of stocks, because the way US market behaves, it has got a positive correlation with how the Indian markets open, right? So for a new user, this gives you a bigger platform, a liquid platform where you can try your hands on. Third important category is of any small time exporter and importer. So what we usually see is that when you have certain export or import obligations and the sizes are not very big, when you go to your bank, the fee being charged to hedge your position is much, much higher. On currency derivatives platform, you can see the prices real time. These prices are available to you from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the evening. And you can take the smallest of the exposure, which is of $1,000 as well. If I take USD INR as an example, तो आपका 1 million order, $1 million का अगर exports है, तो आप अगर बैंक में जाते हैं तो you get a better deal there. But for $1,000 or $10,000 worth of export order, you will not get a better price. Rather, you will get a better and transparent price on exchange traded platforms. That's one. Second important thing is, whenever you want to square off your positions, you cannot do so as an exporter or import until your obligations are fulfilled. Your bank will not allow you to cancel your hedging, just because you feel that you want to exit it today. There are charges and there are restrictions. Now that restriction is not available on exchange traded currency derivatives. यहाँ पे आप जब चाहे पोजीशन बना सकते हो, जब चाहे अपने पोजीशन से एग्जिट ले सकते हो. That's again a bigger advantage. It is now the third important is it gives you that flexibility. Now, yeah, I hope I am audible. There is some network issue at my end.
Yes, you are, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So and lastly, when you are from the investment point of view, if you are tracking currency movement, especially against dollar, as I said earlier also, you get an idea of what's happening in the economy and its impact. So broadly, so the topic which we're discussing is currency derivatives, the opportunities you can avail. First, if you are a first-time trader, low margin requirement, a tighter price range, high liquidity gives you an opportunity to learn about markets with an instrument which is relatively safer. As an exporter and importer, if you are an MSME or a small-time exporter and importer, you get better price discovery, a reduced impact cost, as well as you get an opportunity to exit your positions whenever you want. From an investor point of view, understanding forex currency movements gives you an idea how the economy is doing, and that ultimately has an impact on your investment decisions. If you feel that the economy is not doing well, you would rethink about your strategy of holding the investments which you have. Again, a forex reserve also gives you an indication which sector is likely to perform, which sector is not likely to perform. It also gives you an idea on how the FII flow is happening, and that's going to impact your investments. So currency globally, if you see, it's as I mentioned earlier as well, it's the most liquid market. But in India, I think we all as market participants need to put efforts, need to make our traders, our clients, our users aware that there is a market available here which gives you a lot of advantages. So in this investor week, when we are taking this kind of initiative of making our investors aware, we speak about derivatives, we speak about commodities, we speak about various asset classes, including gold. I think currency is one area which we also need to focus on, because a more liquid currency market in India will also open up opportunities where, going forward, we might also have the deliverables of currencies happening through exchanges. Right now, since it's only exchange traded derivatives, but agar liquidity zyada hai, participation zyada hai, so I think regulator can also give it a thought that why don't we allow the currency to be delivered by the market participants who trade on exchange traded derivatives. So with that thought, I would like to conclude my presentation and the insights here. I'd be happy to take up any questions, if any, and over to you, Mr. Mehta.
Jayji, one of the biggest question the investors are feared coming into currency derivatives market is, okay, I am very small person, and the investors over there are big players like banks, foreign institutional investors. So what way will I get it, and how much will I earn out of it? So this is the biggest fear. How do you address this issue?
See, it's a very good question, Mr. Mehta. See, we need to understand that your exposure is limited to only $1,000, which you are taking,
Correct.
right? So what happens is we need to understand that currency market cannot move 20% here and there, which
Exactly.
in equity derivatives or any equity instrument. So for somebody who is taking $100,000 worth of exposure and paying a margin which is only on 3 or 4%, so his entire risk is around 2,500 or 3,000 rupees. Okay.
Correct.
Now, for somebody who is new to market, this gives you a very good platform for him to understand the totality of how the market behaves, how the volatility happens, how the margining systems work, how the settlement takes place. So somebody becomes confident, and the third most important thing is that when you are a trader, you want to say fundamentals don't usually work when you are a trader, right? You need to take
Correct.
short-term bets, and for short-term bets you require technical analysis. So you are able to apply the tools of technical analysis and learn the game in a better way when you become
Okay.
a seasoned investor.
Brilliant. Another questions which comes across is that we as an exporter has not actually been able to capture the market. So there are exporters, there are sub exporters which are uh, there who know, there is a quota system here in India. So mostly we have to cater to the new sub exporter group. So how do we approach them as a member or whatever we can sell it?
So I think the first important thing is create an awareness. I think
Okay.
which most of the small exporters, they are not aware that there is something called a currency derivative exchange which exists, which gives them
Right.
equal opportunity to hedge their exposures. Most of them have an idea that for any kind of hedging thing they need to go to their bank. So through NME, I think we can create this kind of awareness programs for MSME and also the SMEs where the export and import happens, so that they are aware that there is a platform which exists which can take care of their smaller hedging requirements. So I think that's the first step we should start working on.
Sure, we will definitely take a note on that. Acha, another thing is that here there are two regulators involved. Okay, so one is RBI and another is SEBI. So even a small investor who are even investing in markets, they think that I have to pay upfront margin and recent change in regulations. So here, what do you advise the investors? Are such harsh regulations still exist here as well?
No, I think in the past we haven't seen such kind of actions coming where one regulator has stipulated something and the other regulator comes and supersedes that. So that has not happened in the past, and I am pretty confident that that will not happen in the future as well. But there is one great opportunity here now, since two regulators are involved, because currency movement comes under RBI and the contracts are designed by SEBI on exchange traded platforms. So as I was mentioning, if there are more participations happening, we can always deliberate on this, that why can't the currency be delivered on an exchange platform?
Sure.
So that's one area which will provide a lot of boost if that happens.
Correct. So as you rightly said, in your presentation, that we need to have a physical settlement of the currencies as well.
Yes.
So it is one of the areas which definitely one would like to should explore as an regulators. Even we will write a letter to the regulators to explore this area. That it's very interesting that currency derivatives does not have it. It becomes, see, if there is no physical settlement, it becomes a gambling den.
Exactly.
Okay. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want people to go to that area which is just a gambling den and people are playing with the currency which they don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so international markets are volatile. They are directly impacting that currency levels. So now out of all this, the question comes that how a long-term investor, can he take part in this? Because what value he get? See, traders is very good. They will get a benefit. But what will a long-term investor benefit out of this, and how will they derive the benefits?
See, I think understanding currency market, helps you as a long-term investor. But if you want to derive the benefit, there is no way you can derive the benefit directly as of now, because these are all derivatives contract where you need to roll it over at certain at the time of expiry. So that is again, a view-based trade. So for an investor, I think tracking currency markets gives you an idea how your economy is performing, how other asset classes are performing, and that will have an impact on your equity investments. Say, for example, if there is an investor who keeps track on currency market movements, now when they know that the currency becomes lifetime weak, okay, then there is obviously some kind of concern which is there in the economy. Okay, that rings that alarm, or that red flagging happens. Why the currency is trading at lifetime low? Okay, is there something which I'm missing out in the economy? So he can always go back and check what on his portfolio, what he holds, and the investments which he has, are the weaker rupee going to have any kind of impact on his investment or not? So it keeps him aware what's happening around. Now, again, if you take another example, if rupee starts becoming stronger against dollar, okay, that means what? You have a weaker dollar, right? And if you have some investments in bullions, maybe in gold and silver, or you hold certain other asset classes, you will start taking a relook on that now, since dollar has started becoming weak, should I hold my position for longer time frame, or should I exit bullions and move to some other asset classes? So indirectly, understanding commodities makes you a better investor and better trader.
Yeah, that's a very good insight. So now the question arises that as an investor, what tax rate will I be attracting? Because I believe that since it's a short term and not a long term, so it will be 15%.
Yes. No, I think it gets added to the profits gets added to your business income, because
If you are a trader, it's
if you're
only if you are a trader by default, by
yeah,
business income.
exactly. But if you are using it for your own business purpose, then I
Correct.
think there is some section which is, if I'm not wrong, section 43.
Okay. No, that's okay. That's okay.
There's some section income tax which allows that any profits can be off, you can get offset. So it helps in your business as well if you are a exporter and importer.
Okay, I think it's a very well defined strategy that if a exporter can hedge, especially in the given world economic scenario,
Yeah,
where everywhere the wars are happening. So
correct.
it's a huge risk. Correct. So who else do you think that should be investing except these exporters and we see the banks, institutions, and
Mhm.
to broaden the horizon of the investor base, what advice we would give to a regulator or exchanges we should look forward?
No, see, I would say that the charity begins at home. I think we as members of exchanges, as an association, I think we need to take initiative of making our users aware, okay, that there is a market which is vibrant across the globe. And if we really take keen interest here, I think this market will also grow, as we have seen other markets growing in India. We have seen a phenomenal jump in commodity volumes over last few years. Equity market is already there. So the first step is that once you have enough of liquidity, enough of participation happening, then we can expect reforms from the regulator as well. Before approaching them, I think I'm speaking on a public forum like this, but before approaching them, we also need to have that proof of pudding with us.
Correct, correct. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Acha, another thing is if an investor want to get on board as a for the currency derivatives and he is new to this, then how easy is it to for him to get it onboarding?
I think it's pretty easy. Like the way the normal KYC is done by a user, only the segment enablement is required. Currency derivatives presently is available on both the exchanges, NSE and BSE. So as we onboard our customers, we allow them to trade in equity derivatives. The currency, along with commodities, currency segment can also be enabled with the consent of a user, and they are ready to trade on that. Because the margining requirement is common. If you are a trader if you have given margin in derivatives, I think the derivatives margin can also be used for currency and other segments as well.
Okay. So from here we take it up as a margin. So can shares be kept as a margin pledge for getting an exposure in currency derivatives as well?
Yes, I think that's allowed. The applicable haircuts are allowed and it can be used.
Okay, so it becomes pretty easy for us to onboard the investors then.
Yes.
Yeah. And does the mutual fund can trade in this currency derivatives, mutual funds, FDIs, FPIs?
NRIs are allowed for
Okay.
trading in currency derivatives.
Okay. And is this available currency derivatives in the GIFT City as well?
I need to check that, but in Indian
Sure.
markets, I think there are 4 pairs available as of now. And also on options, you have USD INR options which are available. Also, cross currency pairs are available like Euro USD. But again, the timing is different. That again, I said, there has to be more participation, more liquidity in the cross currencies as well.
Okay. So all this product combined, the volumes are pretty less because of the physical delivery is not available. I assume that if that has to be there, then that it is quite possible that banks will increase their participation. Am I correct to point out that, or no?
Yes, the first it's like you have to have liquidity, you have to have participation, you have to have right regulations, and then we'll see this market booming.
Sure. That's it for today. Sheetal?
So we have received only one question, that is
Sure.
that where can we find research for currency market, for research, is there any website or something like that which can be referred?
Sheetal, I think we are in an age of where there is abundance of information. You can Google or YouTube.
Google
There
it.
are hundreds of channels which has videos on basics of currency trading, how currency trading works. I think some of the basic ideas can be taken from there. And the next best approach is wherever you want to trade, you need to ask your broker and for any kind of insight into that. They will be able to provide. Now, both the exchanges are also proactive in developing currency as a segment, NSE and BSE. So their representatives can also do some kind of awareness programs along with members so that the clients of those members can be made aware how this whole thing works and the risk associated with that.
So I think that's all for the day. I would like to give vote of thanks. Any closing remark before we wind up the session? Jay, sir, any closing remarks on currency derivative?
No, thanks, Sheetal. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of opportunity. This opportunity needs to be explored. And we, our member fraternity, along with associations, we also need to take this initiative of spreading the awareness. And this World Investor Week is a brilliant initiative. Everywhere we deliberate, the new avenues where we can make the investor aware what are the risks, what are the opportunities available. And I'm really thankful to SEBI and ANMI, for hosting these kind of programs. So thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm privileged so that I got an opportunity to share my thoughts here.
We would like to thank Mr.Jay for always being so gracious and agrees to conduct webinar on different topics of stock market with ANMI. It's like enlightening to listen to you. I'm sure our members must have enjoyed today's session. I would also like to thank Harin sir for his opening remarks, and thank you member for participation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.